What is going on, everyone? My name is Drew Spencer with the React and Attack Football Podcast, where we try and go over NFL content from all 32 teams every single day. And boy, oh boy, there's always something going on in the NFL world. And if you like what you hear, make sure to like and subscribe. And let's go. And the quarterbacks keep dropping like flies, man. It's been a little bit since I've checked in here, but so much has gone down, and I just wanted to touch up on more things. So, obviously, the big news, the quarterback injuries from all over the league right now. Obviously, we know about Joe Burrow and Brock Purdy, but now it's Jaden Daniels with a knee injury, doubtful for the game. I don't expect him to play. JJ McCarthy with a high ankle sprain. They're saying it's maybe a week, but who knows? And who knows the severity of it? And then even Justin Fields getting a concussion there. And all these teams, you have to freak out when your quarterback goes down. But I think a couple of these teams are in a bit more of a different funk, right? I mean, as I alluded to the last time I spoke, Joe Burrow, his season effectively over. Yes, there is chance that he could come back mid-December, but I am not really willing to bet my money on the Bengals being in a playoff position for him to, even if he were to come back. I mean, what? I mean, is it really worth rushing him back? Um, and what's crazy is I read a statistic about Joe Burrow that of all the people that of all the quarterbacks that have gone to um, get a turf toe surgery through their season, and it has effectively ended it. And even a few of them, they even retired and never came back because the pain. As I've alluded to before, with the turf toe injury, it's a pretty serious thing, guys. Um, Not saying that's going to happen to Joe Burrow. I just thought that was an interesting stat, but this is the reason why I'm saying it's like, yeah, he's probably gone. Um, I don't really see the Bengals being that position to say, hey, let's bring back Joe Burrow in, let's get this thing on the ship and let's rock it to the playoffs. I don't think they'll be in contention, especially with how good a lot of the rest of the AFC is. Um, and then the other team would be the Vikings, man. You know, JJ McCarthy has started off in a very polarizing two starts to his career, as they should be. Now Carson Wentz comes in, fills for him. But this is one of those things where the Vikings, primed to succeed, hoping to succeed with this talented roster. And now they have to go to Carson Wentz, who is a bit of an enigma, as he will turned the ball over a lot. I mean, even in his last outing with Kansas City, and yes, they were resting all their backups. He was still not looking great. I think his confidence shot. Who knows? But this is just bad news. And if JJ McCarthy is sidelined for longer than a week, it goes to show, man, that these backup quarterbacks who you have back, there essentially really matters. And I think for the Vikings, though, it's this is the worst case scenario to lose your quarterback in a very big evaluation year because they don't even know if JJ's got it. I don't know. We all don't know if he's got it, right? And we wouldn't know. Um, but to lose him this way, it's baffling. And then with Jaden Daniels and his knee, I mean, Commanders just dropped a loss to the Packers, and I do think the Packers are just such a good team. But to lose Jaden and be out with a knee injury and a lingering one where it's doubtful and we don't fully know, it sucks, man. It's the year of the backup quarterback, and most of the time you're crossing your fingers for one win, like I was with Mac Jones and the Niners, and they beat a Saints team that kind of is viewed as the bottom feeder of the league. But that was, you have to have that, and you're hoping that a backup quarterback can get you a few wins. But all these teams' cases are different situations. If it's concussion for Justin Fields, he might miss 1, maybe 2 weeks, depending on the severity of it. Uh, yeah, man, it's crazy to see how this is all happening within the first few weeks. And now, not all of these are season endings, but you are definitely behind the eight ball, losing these guys so early, and it's very unfortunate. Another highly contested debate that's going on is about, and I see it all the time whenever I check my social media in any sort. It is the tush push, and the way that I feel about the tush push is, let's just get back to brass tacks, man. Okay, so the tush push that the Eagles have ceremoniously used for a long time has crushed it. It almost seems as even Saquon Barkley on the broadcast, or at least when he was mic'd up at the end when they relayed it, he said, uh, "Everyone knows we're lining up to do it, and they can't fucking stop us." And it's true. And here's I'm going to say this about it first. I'm going to talk about the merits of it because I am a Niner fan, right? And automatically, I feel like as a Niner fan, I should do my just to hate the Eagles, but I don't. I really don't. I like a lot of their players. I like how they are efficient. I like how they draft. I like how they build their team a whole lot. And this play, as seen and demonstrated by other quarterbacks, can only really be done by this offensive line with Jalen Hurts and his massive ability to squat and his offensive line just being an absolute juggernaut of guys. And this is the reason why you invest in the trenches all the time for all teams. um, but so I don't want to discredit the Eagles here because I've seen Josh Allen try and do this, and he's huge. He's humongous, right? You would expect him. Couldn't get it done. We've seen other quarterbacks try. We've seen trying to do it. We've seen other types of moves. It was actually pretty funny. The last Niners Saints game, Jake Tonga is actually, I think he picked up Brock Purdy and tried to move, or Mac Jones, I should say, and push him in forward, and it worked. I guess. I mean, it's weird. So it's like, how does this all line up? It's all different variations of the tush push. But the biggest thing that I have after going through the relays and recourses of this, because you can't argue about it, right? On one spectrum, it's, as I've alluded to, it's like, well, yeah, they do it because they have the talent to do it, which is true. But as we see more and more, and especially in that Chiefs game, which was under all public eye, and this hasn't been the first time it's happened, but lining off offsides or false starting routinely is part of what they do, and they have gotten away with it. There's really no way around it. Now, here's the thing, though. I'm not crying wolf because look, it's the ref's job at the end of the day to fucking call it, right? Blame their fucking union for that. As like, oh, God forbid someone get ousted or ostracized for calling the correct fucking thing. But yet we got to blame the Eagles and their fan base, right? Well, as much as I like to, criticize the Eagles fan base, this is one of those things where I understand, I respect the talent, but here's the big but. With all this commotion going on, I know for a fact the NFL is going to crack down on it. Kind of like they did with, I don't know, inflated footballs for a couple years, right? Even though even though we don't hear anything about it, but they still did it, right? They do not want this game, the moment that it eats away at their pockets and the consumers find it quote unquote boring. As Saquon Barkley said, hey, we can run this play any fucking time, and they know we're gonna get it anyway. Well, if you're an Eagles fan, that's awesome, right? If you're a fan of another team and that's all you care about is your team, you're gonna fucking hate it, right? You're gonna be like, this is bullshit. The other team says, well, we are the only ones who can do it. It's fair, right? Well, with so much controversy around this play, I don't think it lasts another season. I really don't. I really don't. And you know what the worst thing is? The refs, the next time the Eagles call this, the tush push, they're gonna flag them like 2 or 3 times. to make a point. And it's going to be that game where it's like, well, what the fuck? We couldn't do it because of this. And then they won't do it again because the fan base and their forgetful minds, well, not Eagles fan base, but the NFL fan base will be like, well, yeah, they're calling it, especially if they do it on a primetime game or something. This is all going to go away. They're going to move past the tush push because people have already complained, not just obviously teams and coaching staffs, but even now the product is coming to that. And when you display that against a golden boy in the Kansas City Chiefs in prime time, it's definitely more for everyone to see, right? And now, again, there's no weird conspiracy thing here or anything. It's just the way it goes, and people are getting kind of sick of it. And personally, I'm getting sick of it. I see both sides of the story. I think, hey, they're the only ones who can run this play. But the thing is that sometimes they're lining up off sides and stuff. Well, yeah, blame it on them. In week one, they went for it. They went for it three times with the tush push. I believe on the second time they missed by like a yard, and the refs just called it. And they could have replayed it. They didn't. You blame anyone, blame them. They're the reason why they're letting them line up off sides and false starting without anything. So the Eagles found a way to loop around in life. We all like to do that, right? If you can find a shortcut, I know I like to take shortcuts sometimes. But again, though, it will get called out. Eagles, Eagles fans, hopefully you guys can try and win again, right? Before that they really hunker down. So, yeah. One last thing to wrap up on. Uh, Thursday night football's coming up. Miami heading into Buffalo. And I wish I could be more excited about it. But I've been thinking in the mind with of Miami and to get decimated by the Colts and then have a nice showing against the Patriots, but are in a squandering problem as though I don't think they stand a hell of a chance. I don't think they stand a chance in hell. I should say, because against Buffalo, I really don't. I going into Buffalo, especially early on, while Josh Allen so far has continued to look like an absolute madman, an MVP, where it doesn't matter, man. He can dink and dunk you, he can run on you, he can throw it, he can evidence all that stuff. We don't need to talk about the Bills in this case, but yeah, man, I don't think the Dolphins stand any chance in this game. I really don't. And yeah, they had some nice things going. Tyreek finally got involved in against the Patriots at over 100 yards to a 83% completion. He did throw a pick in there, but like I've alluded to before, man, you give him time, he can set it up, he can anticipate, he can throw, but it's just not enough. And the biggest thing that I saw was a comment from Tua, and in no way is this a bad remark about him or Josh Allen. But when asked about Josh Allen and his athletic ability and yada yada yada, Tua basically said, "It was like, well, yeah, man, I can't do any of that." Well, yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that because Josh Allen's like a one of one, like specimen essentially. But this is kind of the problem that we see because Josh Allen sometimes he's had to been asked to do things. There's been times where we look at his receiving room, we're like, who the hell's going to step up there, and he will lead himself. He will carry that. With Tua Tagovailoa, him not being able to create and be able to do that is a massive hindrance. And especially when you have such a defunct offensive line in front of him, your best case scenario is how they played against the Patriots. And unfortunately, that was not a winning effort. The defense isn't there. I mean, this season's going down, man. I think Miami and Mike McDaniel and the Miami coaching staff and hopefully Chris Greer are probably going, to hell in a handbasket by Halloween at this certain rate. Look, we can get kind of, yeah, you can get a little positive. It's like, well, they started turning things around. No, they didn't get completely blown out. It's like, yeah, but these are two teams that if you look at the schedule that you would think you'd have a shot against. And one of them completely blew out. You had no answer for it. And again, it just goes to show, man. We're not asking Tua. I'm not asking certain quarterbacks all to be that Josh Allen level, right? But I mean, if you don't give the guy an offensive line, you're asking him to do these things, but you're afraid of him to create because if he runs, he might get tackled, he might get hurt. If he can't do that. There's so many aspects to it that it just you're kind of in a sinking, dying ship if things can't turn around quickly for the Dolphins, and I think they know that. Um, and it's unfortunate, man, because I have a lot of respect for some of the players. Like I like Tua, I like Mike McDaniel as a play caller, man. Uh, but it's just it's as I've said before, it's just not all working. It's not all putting it together. And you're telling me they have to go on prime time and play on a short week and play in Buffalo? Nah, man. And exactly why Tua said it was like he's a different quarterback than me. Well, it's true. It's true. He's going to be able to do things while you're limited due to the pressure around you. And sure, we might blame Tua. Well, Tyreek's streaking down the field, but no one sees their left guard's ass getting kicked in at the same time. And this is what's going to probably continue for the Dolphins until they say, yeah, this is all moot. It all sucks. Everyone sucks. Let's blow it all up. But really, due to their construction, due to their philosophy, they did it themselves. And it's going to take a lot. Now, color me fucking stupid if they win this game. But I just have a hard time believing it, man. I really do.